So welcome to our Tuesday at 10 Zoom meeting, and we're going to go ahead and get started here. First thing that I want to talk about is giving an update from NAR, and mainly the big things that I'm hearing overall. Now everything's been implemented, and buyer agreements have been implemented, and things of that sort. I think the biggest thing that I'm hearing out there is to be careful of trying to do workarounds as far as advertising commission. And I think that probably our best bet um, is to do commissions, to not advertise commissions at all. So my recommendation to you is just don't advertise commissions at all. If agents call and ask, it's perfectly fine to tell them whether or not your seller is willing to pay a buyer agent commission, and you should always have that conversation with your seller. You can even discuss an amount that they're comfortable with, but you don't want to advertise that anywhere online, especially. So that's kind of what I'm hearing. So even though it is permissible by the settlement to advertise on your own website, I would not recommend doing that because I think that in most cases it's going to be an issue. The other thing is, okay, so IAR, the latest with them, again, they're kind of saying the same thing, so they're echoing a lot with NAR. I think IAR's biggest thing is the forms and use of the forms and filling them out completely improperly. And so, for instance, one of the things I've heard more than once is don't allow there should not be any blank lines on your agreements, whether it's a purchase agreement, listing agreement, buyer agreement, doesn't matter. There should not be a blank line on there. If there is, something goes in there, either a number, a date, or not applicable. So something should go in every line. So don't leave portions of the agreement blank because that's not good contract filling out of contracts, and that could come back later to haunt you. So please, when you're filling out a contract or agreement of any kind, fill in all the lines, even if it's just to put in there not applicable. So there's that aspect of it. MIBOR, I'm going to shift here to MIBOR now. Any questions on those things? Okay, what I'm going to do is share my screen because I want to talk about MIBOR. And so now you should be looking at my screen, and you should see it should say median sales price. You all see that?
Yes.
So this is what happened in August, and so we'll start out by talking about median price, median sales price. It's gone up year to date. Change is 4.7%. Year over year is 3.3%. So it's gone up 3.3% over what it was a year ago to 310,000 is the median sales price. And you can see what's happened on the graph here, that there's been big jumps. And then, and we're currently in another kind of big jump, but it seems to be declining a little bit now. For what it's worth, um, prices are continuing to increase. Now, it should be no surprise, this is a county comparison. You can see that Boone County, Hamilton County kind of lead the way in terms of price appreciation. So if you're doing business in Boone and Hamilton, those markets are rapidly growing and being, pricing buyers out in terms of being able to afford to live there. So it's harder and harder to find reasonably priced homes in Hamilton County and Boone County. Marion County's still down there, pretty decent, but understand Marion County has a lot of variance in it from very low price range houses to very high price range houses. So Marion has more of a range than you would find in Hamilton County or in Boone County. So when you're looking at pricing, you just have to keep that in mind. The next thing we want to look at is closed sales, and these are the number of properties that actually closed or sold. You can see in August there were 2,659. Month over month change, that was a decline of 8%. Year over year, 6.8%. So sales are down. Closed sales are down. This is probably, as a result of some of the things that we're seeing with high interest rates. But you can see that there's been kind of a historical decline. If you were to put a trend line in this graph, you could see that it's a declining graph. So sales are declining, and they declined again in August. In terms of the biggest declines, or in terms of county by county, you can see that sales are strong in Hamilton County and Marion County in terms of number of sales. So there's still Brown County, Decatur County. These are other counties that are in central Indiana. So keep in mind, these are central Indiana stats. You could look at just Hamilton County or just Marion County, or even portions of that, but we're not going to. I'm just going to look at the Mybor service area or the central Indiana service area. So then the next thing we can look at here is new listings. So this is the number of new listings coming on. We can see that they are up month over month, 2.3%, 3,383 new listings in August. But that's a decline year over year of 1.5%. While there are more listings over the previous month, it's still down over a year ago in terms of number of new listings. And so in terms of market activity, you can see what's going on with the graph here with historical activity. And then in the county comparison, you can see again, Marion and Hamilton seem to be the strongest, which probably is to be expected being in the central part of the state. Pending sales. This is a good indication of what closed sales will be next month. And so we do see an uptick in pending sales to 2,895, which is 12% increase over last month. And also it's a 10% increase year to year. So pendings being up would be a good indicator that next month's sales should be up a little bit month over month. Again, though, you can see that this graph by and large is a decline. And then again in counties, Marion and Hamilton seem to be the strongest. Cumulative days on market. This is a good indicator of how much a seller is going to get for their home and how quick they're going to sell it. There was a increase, pretty hefty increase month over month of 25% to 15 days. average or median. I think this is medium, I guess it's cumulative days on market. Year over year change, it's up 50%. So you can see that we went from down here where houses were being sold very quickly, and then they've jumped up, and then they've declined, and they've jumped up again, then they declined, and now they're coming up again. So I think overall, though, we're seeing if you trended this, you're going to see it trending up. So days on market are trending up. That means that sellers it's going to take longer to sell homes, so you need to prepare sellers for that. They've missed this little window down here where everything was selling. It's not that way anymore. There still are times when it is, so we've had a little bit of that in 2023. We had a little bit of that in 2024, but they're going back up, and that means you have to work harder to get homes sold. And that also means you're not going to be getting all those overpriced listing. Days on market in Hamilton are still kind of low. Marion is actually lower than Hamilton in days on market. Average days on market in August is 33. So the other number was cumulative. This is average days on market. You can see again that they're going up. So same conclusions with that. Price per square foot went down month over month, but year over year it's higher, and we would expect it to be higher because the median sales price of homes has gone up. So that correspondingly is going to raise the price per square foot. So right now the price per square foot is $160 in our market area. Again, it's going to be different in different counties. You can see one of the counties with the highest price per square foot is Brown County. Homes are very expensive down there. And
What county is that?
one of the least prices per square foot is Madison County, interestingly enough. So this gives you, though, and Hamilton's right up there, pretty high price. Boone County is up there with a pretty high price per square foot. Same thing with Bartholomew County. Johnson County is up there, pretty high price per square foot. Morgan County. So you're seeing a lot of the donut counties picking up higher price per square foot as well. A percent of lists received in August was 98.3%, which is a year-to-date, year-over-year change of down just a little bit by 0.6%. Month over month, it's down by 0.4%. So, we're not seeing, this goes back to 21, 22. You can see we were seeing a steady over 100%. Now we're well below 100%. And while we're getting close to that, we're not seeing that anymore. We're seeing a pretty steady decline in price list, what they're getting compared to what they're asking for. Now, though, if we look in counties, you can see in Hamilton County, they're up there bumping against that 100%. So Hamilton, Hancock, Hendricks County, Putnam County, these are all counties that are getting better than the average as far as price, list price to sale price. And then inventory is increasing. That's one reason that houses are staying on market a little longer, as we've got an increase in inventory. Year over year, 20.6%. So that's a pretty significant inventory increase, and 6.6 month over month change. We're pretty flat for the year as far as inventory. And again, Marion County has the highest inventory, followed by Hamilton County, and then other counties are pretty low on inventory. Month supply of inventory, we have 1.8 months supply, so it's still a seller's market. and that has increased. So good news is, you know, as it increases, it could shift to a balanced market, which is what we would all like to see, as a more balanced market for inventory. But that's where we are right now with it. And we're coming up county comparison here. You can see Brown County seems to have more inventory available. Marion, Hamilton's down on inventory. Boone County's down on inventory. Johnson County's got decent inventory. And then there's you should have received all this information in your uh, communication from my board, but in case you don't read it, I covered that for you. Just a couple of other things. Well, first of all, are there any questions, comments from you guys on anything that you might want to talk about? No questions? Okay.
I have a question. Maybe you said that so many times. It's with the, let me see if I can get the document here. When in the buyer's realtor agreement, we ask for a 3%, and maybe we get paid 2.5% from the seller. What will happen with the money that is remaining?
Well,
That is not remaining, that we agreed 3 and we got paid 2.
the other 0.5% the buyer owes.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So the buyer would owe the additional 5% or 0.5%.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Yeah. So now, again, those agreements can be amended, but if they're not amended, then that's what they owe. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Another one. My client is going to see, one of my client is going to see a house, and the seller is asking for 30 days possession after closing. I told her that, and maybe we can try for less, but I said that was a little risky. And it's up to her to do it. We might ask for a insurance. I don't know what type of insurance. Is that a renter insurance that is a high? And the
Well,
renter insurance we
you're
cover.
talking about the seller retaining possession for 30 days after closing.
Mhm.
So for a longer period like that, for 30 days, you might want to go with a lease back where they lease and they actually do a lease agreement with
Okay.
the seller. For sure, you want to put a big penalty in there if they don't surrender possession at the date that they're supposed to surrender possession. In
Okay.
that case, where the seller retains possession, you could run into an insurance issue with a new lender or with a new buyer, because the buyer is going to have to inform their insurance company that they're not occupying the property until 30 days later. And that could bring a sticky wicket as far as insurance is concerned. So that's something that you want to just be aware of, and there is risk involved in that type of a situation, because technically the buyer owns the property. The buyer has taken insurance out on the property, particularly if it's a finance deal. They've had to have a paid insurance, so that the buyer has a paid insurance policy. But the seller no longer owns the house, but they're living in it.
Yeah, I sold a house. I was representing the seller, and they asked for a week or 2, I remember. And I remember the buyer's realtor asked for a high price insurance for them, and they did. They have a very good insurance, so they did. That's why they did. They didn't charge them anything, but they have to have a proof of they got a good insurance. And I don't know if they chose them. I don't know how much was it, but that was a good insurance.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
they did.
a week or two, you can get by with, the longer the possession by seller, the more risk that is involved in the transaction. So you just want to make sure that your buyer understands the risks, and the risk is on the buyer, not on the seller in this particular case. It's more on the buyer. So the buyer really needs to understand that by letting them continue to live in their house, that there is risk involved. That's why there may be want to be a short-term lease back or something. And again, I think it's probably important to keep the insurance company in the loop, because what you don't want is a house to burn down while the sellers are still living there, and the buyers have not yet occupied the house, and now the insurance company finds out that there's been a loss, but the buyer wasn't living there when the loss occurred.
Okay.
Insurance companies love to not pay claims, and
Okay. So it's up to them to
if
talk to the
if they
insurance.
could get out of paying it, they will. So we want to just be careful and advise our buyers accordingly.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? Okay. I just wanted to finish up in our remaining time. Did anybody attend Gabrielle Jean's client retention webinar the other day? Okay, I did, and I just want to bring you a couple thoughts from that came up in that. One of the key things that you can do to keep clients is make sure that they get exceptional customer service. I think being customer, if you think about it in terms of customer service, nowadays we're used to getting less and less customer service. No longer gone are the days when we, fill up our car with gas and somebody puts it in the tank for us and washes our windshield and checks our oil and does all those things like they did in the far past. Now we get out of the car, we are our own customer service. We get out of the car, pump the gas, and ourselves, and if we want the windshield washed, we're going to have to wash it ourselves, etc. So, and we just see that in all levels, even in restaurants. Customer service is going down, down, down. And I think that gives us an opportunity as realtors to really shine in the area of customer service and really deliver unusual customer service. And I think part of that becomes really communicating with your clients on a regular basis, letting them know what's going on, having a regular plan to communicate with them during a transaction. So that they know every step of the way what's going on. They receive a phone call or email or text from you on a regular basis to let them know that, hey, everything's on track, everything's going good. And that you go that extra little bit to review documents with them, to spend time with them answering questions. There's a lot of things that you can do to provide exceptional customer service so that they remember you. And the next time they want to do something, that buy or sell a house, they'll do it through you. And the next time somebody asks them, who should I use as my realtor, that they would recommend you. So it all starts, client retention all starts with exceptional customer service. The second thing you can do is hold client appreciation events. where you invite your clients to a movie theater or to a venue. We've talked about maybe even using the sailing club from time to time, or there's a yacht club over there. You could probably use it. It's going to cost a fee, but client appreciation events are good ways to let clients know that you appreciate them. And things like delivering pies to them and things of that sort can also be helpful things to do. I know some of you do that kind of thing. Get to know your clients beyond just the transaction. Get to know your clients' lives, their kids, their situation, what's going on in their life, and that enables you to keep up with them and to stay in touch with them on a regular basis. So get to know them deeper than just the transaction itself. Doesn't mean that every client has to be your best friend, but it does mean that you need to take a little extra effort to get to know them. Also engage your clients by asking them questions and asking them for feedback. So when you do a transaction with someone, it's important to engage them and say, "Hey, how did I do on a transaction? What did I do well? What should I change?" Things of that sort. And so you might want to ask them for feedback about how they did. And then another strategy you can use for client retention is kind of a VIP, very important person strategy. And that might be where you might sponsor their kids' team, or buy hats for them, or something of that sort. Or you might donate to their favorite charity. So if their favorite charity is Meals on Wheels, you might donate to that charity in their name. And that makes them feel important and good about doing business with you. So those are some of the highlights. I think the recording is on the website, so I think you can watch the recording. And so I would really encourage you to do that. But those are just kind of the highlights of that. There was a whole lot more that she talked about. Those were just some of the things I wrote down in terms of things that I want to kind of focus on in my business.
I can mention a couple. I was in a mastermind yesterday,
Yeah.
and they said one of the realtors said that she could categorize, and I used to do that in the beginning, categorize her clients, A plus, A, B, and C. A
Mhm.
plus, the one is the referral maker, the one who could send a lot of referral. They said to call them once a month. The A to call every 2 weeks. I don't know. That was because I call my clients every 3 months. It's what I do. I think they appreciate that, but I don't call them every month. And they said the A, they are maybe twice a month, and then the A once a month, B every 2 months, and C every quarter. They were saying that.
Yeah. Yeah. Hang on a second there. I'm gonna run here and pick up something. I'm glad you mentioned that, Virginia, because it reminded me. And I just finished this book.
I
Maybe
have the book. I
do
have the
you? Have you
uh-huh.
read it?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is a great book, and this book talks about that, about how often you should communicate with different people. I'm going to put this in the office, so if anybody wants to borrow this, it'll be at the office in our little library there of books that you can check out and read. If you check this out, just let me know that you have it, So I know where it went. But this is a great book. I read it once before, and so I decided to reread it. And it's an excellent book about growing your business and categorizing your clients A, B, and C. And I've talked about that a lot too in terms of your database. That everyone should either be at A, B, or a C. A being your people that have either bought from you or referral. So thanks for reminding Virginia. That's absolutely important, I think, in terms of growing your business, particularly if you want a referral-based business. And by the way, Michael Mayer, that's the author, Michael Mayer. He also has training online and coaching and all kinds of stuff available. And he's got free stuff in here too. So if you read this book, as you go through, it's going to reference things, web sites where you can go to download free things. So it's kind of cool. So I'll leave this in the office for you. The final thing that I wanted to throw out there is I heard this a couple times here recently, and so I just wanted to. I thought it was easy, kind of important thing maybe to add to our vocabulary. Finding a home is easy. Buying a home is hard. I'm here to help you with the hard part.
That's a good one.
Huh?
It's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Finding a home is easy. Buying a home is hard. I'm here to help you with the hard part. So we might want to add that to maybe our buyer consultation portion of what we're doing with our buyers. Any other questions before we go?
No.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your attendance. I'm going to stop.